Hey everybody, it's Accelerator. Welcome back to more Dracula X, Nocturne in the Moonlight, otherwise known as Castlevania Symphony of the Night. So I'm aware there's no game audio. Sorry, I don't know what happened. It probably has to do with the screen recorder I used. I will try to fix it in the future. That's all I can tell you. This is probably the most annoying area of the whole game. Make sure you have holy water. You didn't see it there because I went off screen, but if you put holy water right underneath the bone statues, bone pillars actually they're called, then it will pretty much destroy them pretty easily. Also, I would recommend just punching the little night guard things. And careful not to get too close to the bone pillars by accident or too far away. You gotta be at just the right place. Just watch out for when they breathe fire. This is easily probably the hardest room in the entire game. The most annoying room. Well, I'm not gonna say that, but the first really annoying room you encounter. Not to mention, you have to use some special power to get later to get in those corners, which actually, I think a couple of them contain some pretty decent items. So I'm failing to destroy this, I think it's called the corner guard, actually. I'm probably wrong on that, but I think it's called the corner guard. Anyway, so in this room, first I go up here. And yeah, if you won't aggro that enemy in the middle if you go a certain way from the center of the room. But, you know, you gotta make sure you don't screw up the jump like that, like I just did. And then you, jump like that, up, yeah, there you go. The goggles. Pretty decent item. It gives you some defense at the least, and you can get sunglasses early in the game, which for some reason I didn't get in this file. And, you know, those will, increase your defense as well. However, so here I'm trying to perform Soul Steal on this thing, but it doesn't work. Probably because I don't have enough MP yet. But yeah. So I tried this for a good couple minutes, and with no success. So at this point, I'm just like randomly mashing buttons, hoping something happens, but nothing happens at all, actually. That actually starts to make me wonder, is it something wrong with my controller D-pad? I might need to switch to the analog stick. Because I'll be honest, I got a controller with 6 space buttons to better sort of emulate the Saturn feel. But I might need to use an analog stick. Because I might need to switch to using the analog stick over the D-pad, because I'll be honest, the D-pad kind of sucks. So yeah, that probably might have something to do with what as well, why I can't really do anything, actually. But yeah. So, I think here's the point where I just go like, screw it. I just kind of sit here for a minute, apparently. I tried a couple more times. Sorry if you heard that, my hand just hit the microphone. Apparently I'm going to try it a couple more times. Wow. So you see me failing Soul Steal. And now at this point I'm just like, screw it. They're really hard to kill normally. That's a katana, by the way. It's a pretty crappy sword. I do view it in my inventory screen later, but it's a two-handed sword that's weaker than your jewel knuckles, which you should have at this point. So, yeah. So this is where I'm checking out the katana and showing off how bad it is. If I go back up, yeah, there we go. It's like 14 power, and your jewel knuckles are jewel knuckles, and your jewel knuckles are like 20 something. So if you go in here, you can get a knight's shield. This actually leads to the Colosseum, but we're not actually going to the Colosseum yet. In fact, we can't go any farther than that. I just picked it up because I honestly don't really have a reason for picking it up. I don't really need it. I never use shields, really. Not even with the infamous weapon combo that you can use later in the game. that I won't spoil yet. If you can for this game, I would recommend getting a turbo controller, by the way, because backdashing is so much faster, and when you can use a turbo controller, you can sit there and hold R. It's the confessionary room, which I do decide to show off. The priest has dialogue that you can't hear, because for some reason the game audio is not working. Anyway, so if you get a priest that's got a gray robe with purple skin, that he attacks you. This lady attacks me too for some reason, and I don't know why, because she doesn't have the color scheme of one that attacks me. Maybe the lady doesn't change her color scheme, because the priest I know is has a purple, or has a gray robe with purple skin when he's gonna attack you. Apparently the lady doesn't change her appearance. So anyway, those Bonemerangs, I think that's what they're called. I think I've mentioned this already, but for some reason, if you manage to get close to them, and this doesn't even seem to happen all the time for some reason, but for some reason when you get close to them, occasionally, at least when I've gotten close to them, they've gone and like cowered in fear, which is weird. I'm not sure exactly why. So this room is annoying. You know why? Crows. Unless you know they're coming up, and you can attack in advance, you're pretty much screwed, really. Hunting girls, I wouldn't recommend killing this if you have trouble timing your hits, so you can only attack the sword, is what it is. Not to mention it has an invincibility period sort of on top of that. But I wouldn't recommend doing that, because the only real reason you have for killing it is to get into the room behind it, which you don't even need to get into until the end of the game. So there, I think we just got the silver plate. Maybe that's later, though. Yeah, no, it's a silver plate. More powerful than the Mirror Cuirass, so for now we're going to equip it. Even though for the moment it has no purpose. So you want to get up in here. You're pretty much immune to everything that skeleton does if you duck. You just got to be careful not to get too close to them. For the bats, I would actually recommend using a sword, because oftentimes they're lined up in pretty quick succession in a row. And, so a longer reach weapon, like right there, you can kill both of those at once. I was accidentally picked up a Bible. But yeah, I would recommend longer reach weapons against those bats that are hanging on the ceiling, because you can oftentimes kill more than one. That time I mistimed my punch. I knew the crow was there, but those crows are easy to kill if you know where they are, because you can just punch as soon as they come on screen. You can just punch as soon as they move, and then you pretty much guaranteed killed them. But they don't. If you mistime it by just a little bit, then you're getting hit with a crow to the face. Like, I'd imagine that can't feel good. Anyway, another one of these rooms. These hallways are really annoying, actually, to me. But now it's boss time. Meet the Griffin. Pretty easy boss, actually, even though I do almost die to it, actually. I'm actually surprised I didn't die. So yeah, now my health is really low. Like, one more attack could probably kill me. But yeah, it's a good idea to just kind of hit it with holy water when it goes to the ground, and just let the holy water do its work. You see, like, I'm taking considering I have 13 health, I'm taking a lot of unnecessary risks. Luckily, the holy water killed it there. So life max up, and Maria cutscene. Tell me, do you know Richter Belmont? Belmont? Of course. Why? I like how Maria shows a picture of Richter Belmont, and then Dracula's like, Belmont? Huh, I know this 8-bit guy from Transylvania. Wow, Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse. Oh, his name was Trevor, not Richter. But all Alucard can apparently, as we'll see later, Alucard can apparently smell blood and tell who you are. So all he needs to know is Belmont. For those of you who aren't very into Castlevania, the Belmonts are basically like the clan of people who have for a good long while, taken out Dracula with the signature whip known as the Vampire Killer. First, there was Trevor. Then the next one we know of is Simon. Then Richter. Anyway, that's it. That's going to be it for this episode of Castlevania Symphony of the Night, Nocturne in the Moonlight in Japanese, and I'll see you guys next time. Stay tuned.